Abnormal Family. I want to drop you a video before we get into the 4th of July celebration. And I thought it would be fun to have a short video. And I found something that goes along with where I'm investigating at. And where I'm investigating at, I found a newspaper clipping out of the Tulsa World that talks about the creature that was down around where I live and what I'm investigating. So let's get to it, guys. I hope you enjoy it and I hope it gives you insight. It says, let's go straight to the newspaper clippings. I don't have to read this from my phone, guys. The computer, for some reason, Tulsa World is blocking it. It says, let's go straight to the newspaper clippings. Here's an excerpt. I'm getting mad, Kenny Tosh said, gripping his shotgun tighter. Everybody's laughing at us and thinking I'm crazy because I've seen the thing. I don't care what people think, Tosh continued. I know I saw something. I'm scared, and I'm going to shoot it. This quote's 40 years old. They were published in 1975 when some folks in Oklahoma had reason to believe there was a creature in the darkness. I don't know what they saw, but they sure saw something, then Nowata County Sheriff Harold Lay told a reporter. One woman was almost hysterical, and her husband seriously said his knees were still knocking. Bigfoot hysteria was in full bloom in the 1970s. The Nowata County community of Noxie became an epic center in 1975. Nowata County is known for numerous cryptid encounters. Tosh and Marion Parrott were among residents who reported encounters with hairy creature. I was within 10 feet of it before I saw him, Tosh told the Tulsa Tribune. He growled and ran one way. I screamed and ran the other. Parrott told reporters he shot at the creature. I was in Vietnam for 13 months. I'm more scared here than I was over there, he said. At least over there I knew what was out there. Here I don't. The Noxie monster was described as 7 or 8 foot tall, hairy, but with human-like facial features and cat-like eyes, which could be seen at night at a distance. One more thing. The Noxie monster smelled worse than he looked. The Noxie monster story went viral before it was such a thing as going viral. The news came from everywhere. Movie producer David Wolper offered $10,000 video for the beast. Members of the Sasquatch Research Group set up camp to search for the monster and did random folks wielding flashlights and firearms. Spooked and triggered happy is the opposite of safe combination when it was mentioned in Nowata County Sheriff Bob Arnold that someone from one was trying to organize a hunting party, Arnold said. We're trying to disorganize that. I had an unconfirmed report last night. There has already been 1 horse and 2 dogs attacked by the creature. Crazy idiots running around, Arnold said. A young person in this day and age with long hair and a lot of stuff on his face might at night look like a wolf man, and one of those guys drinking and hunting him may shoot him. One local armed with a shotgun had driven several carloads of monster hunters from his property, according to Arnold. Was Arnold obligated to treat the monster sighting seriously? He said he preferred to think of it as a hoax. This is the sheriff. But in one of the many stories printed about the Noxie monster, it was reported that a 1-inch rain bolstered hopes of tracking the creature. If it doesn't walk on air, we ought to have some tracks now, and it has rained, Arnold said. Authorities went so far as to secure a plaster cast of a footprint that made Arnold look wrong in saying it was a hoax because a footprint was found. This was Nowata County's first go-around with the hairy situation. 1 year earlier, I apologize for that guy, reported a community of Watova was a bit jumpy because of sightings of an unidentified creature. It was referred simply as it. The Tulsa World reported that Nowata County Sheriff Bill Sutton staked out areas with deputies in hopes of catching it. 1 second, guys. Whatever it has been roaming around the area would be 2 things: a timber wolf, a peeping Tom, or maybe even a creature, which have become combined in reports, Sutton said. We really don't know what it is, but its residents all shook up, and we've had calls about everything from werewolves coming out of the moonlight to things looking like bears walking bipedal in the small towns and communities around. One town even had several phone calls come in of a large creature roaming around their houses at night, growling. It was a sign of the times. Monster sightings have begun to get bigger and bigger in the 1970s. The Missouri Momo then came out, the legend of Boggy Creek, the Everglades Skunk Ape, the Big Bird, not the Sesame Street character, of Texas Bigfoot sightings were common in the Pacific Northwest. Hairy creatures were spotted in Joplin, Lawrence, Kansas. The Soviets, not to be undone during the Cold War era, claimed their own version of Bigfoot. Oklahoma had a monster fever. Oklahoma was one of the highest ranked encounter states. What happened in the 1970s that caused this outbreak around the world? Two brothers reported seeing a creature similar to the Loch Ness Monster at Lake Eufaula in 1973. Multiple people phoned Tulsa police to report a monster walking out of the Arkansas River in 1974. Sightings of Bigfoot-type creatures made news in Indianola and Stillwell. Some of the above ended like a Scooby-Doo episode. A Stillwell youth admitted that he was out and about, and the creature he had seen scared him. Police discovered a discarded boat where one man was so afraid that he had left his boat and the boat had sank partially. I find it an act of God that the boys didn't shoot at everything in the woods back then, as there were so many people afraid. It really makes me worried. But it makes me also wonder, why did so many outbreaks happen at the same time? I'm not sure, the sheriff stated. Something had to happen. They had to see something, they had to see something, and they had to hear something to get as many reports as we were getting in a widespread area of the same sounds and size and creature. There you go, guys. A lot of people were seeing the same thing in multiple areas all across the county, across the world, and even in other countries in the 1970s. It seems the 1970s was a hot spot when the creature outbreak actually happened, and it happened worldwide. I don't know what would cause them to come out of the woods at that time and people to start seeing more of them in the 1970s, but maybe we started expanding more in the 70s, taking more land, I'm not sure, but the 70s, for some reason, definitely brought a lot more sightings. Hey, I appreciate y'all watching. I hope this gives you an insight to where I'm at in Oklahoma, and them saying Oklahoma was the largest encountered state, and I hope it kind of shows you, Oklahoma is a really heavily cryptid state. It's just not spoken about very much. I appreciate y'all watching, and until next time, keep your heads on a swivel, and remember the men and women that fought, that gave us our independence so that we're able to celebrate. Thank you to the men and women of the uniform, and thank you for all that you've done and all you've sacrificed. We will never forget you here on this channel, and always be very appreciative of you. Until next time, guys, don't be something's dinner.